Hey there, I'm Alan Matthews from Classical Guitar Shed, and let's talk about the C chord, one of the most popular chords in all of guitardom. This is an incredibly versatile chord. In this video, we'll talk all about it, how to practice it, how to memorize it, and what the common problems are. If you enjoy this, please subscribe to this channel. Great, so looking at our grid over here, we have the lines that go up and down are the strings, and the lines that go side to side horizontally are the frets. The numbers and the dots are where we place our fingers. So how do we play the C chord? Third finger, 1, 2, 3, 4. Third finger, fifth string, third fret. Second finger comes in right next to it. Second fret on the fourth string. Skip that open third string. One finger on the first fret of the second string and then the open. Now, if you'll notice here, we have a tunnel that we need to make. We have the open first string, open third string, and we have our first finger in the middle. So one of the things you can do to learn this chord is just to play that part first. Just those notes. And then listen to each one of them. We don't want to lay the finger over and mute it out. And so then, having that nice tunnel, then put in the second finger. Make sure that that one is also not muting anything out by laying over, and then put in the third finger. So this is the C chord. Now, notice my wrist right here. It's nice and straight. A couple of common problems you might get into is if you do something weird with your wrist, make an extreme angle in your wrist. We don't want to see these kind of angles like ever. Instead, ideally, the fingers are just coming right out from the elbow. So your elbow is not right by your side then. It is out just a little bit. And then also notice where my thumb is, which is behind the things. So if you're playing really low down here, then your thumb is going to want to go onto the top of the guitar. That's not ideal. So it's better to get your neck up. It's way easier on your body, and it makes it way easier to get to everything. Even though Justin Bieber plays like this and you want to play like Justin Bieber, I would still lift it up and get your thumb on the back of the guitar. Other common problems are, besides the extreme angles, besides muting other strings out, then that would be getting this part of the finger too close to the side of the neck. So we want a little bit of space right there. We don't want to plaster the side of our hand like this and make it to where it's locked in there. Instead, give it just a little bit of space. That's going to make it easier to get to other chords, which we'll talk about in just a second. Now, if you'll notice, we are angled a little bit here, right? Our fingers are coming in at an angle this way. So it's not completely, we can play it this way, and sometimes we might need to, but I find it just a little bit more strenuous this way, a little bit harder to play this way. It's just easier to just relax a little bit and let the fingers come in at an angle. Different chords are different in this respect, but the C chord, if you put it as too much of an angle, that's going to get you into trouble with muting the other strings and making this really flat. But if you're too far down like this, then that could have its own problems as well, mainly in just getting fatigued quickly on it. So that's the thing. The other thing is, if you'll notice on this grid, there are X's and O's at the very top. The X means do not play that string, and that is this low E string. So when we're playing this, that note is technically a part of the chord. It doesn't sound as bad as it could. It doesn't sound really bad, but it's technically not part of our classic C-shape chord on the guitar. So that's the thing. So next up, let's talk about common other chords that this chord switches to and how you can practice switching to that chord. So with the C chord, most common chords that we will switch to are G. So the G can be played like this. And so you can practice switching back and forth like that, sometimes with the third finger without. Same thing with the D chord. These are the most common probably that you will find playing the guitar. Other ones are F, and there's A minor, but most commonly it's going to be G. And so then how do you practice this? You can go finger by finger. So notice, where does your first finger go? And just play that. So that goes from here and then to the G chord to there. And practice back and forth with that one so that you know where that finger goes. And then the next, where does the two finger go? Two finger goes from here down to here, here down to here. And so then you can do both of those. And if you'll notice they're kind of in the same similar position. These are the kind of things you can think about. Then the third finger is coming over straight across. So you're just going finger by finger with whichever chord that you're playing next, and then practicing that. And then ideally, in a perfect world, they all land at the same time. Boom. All at the same time. But that's not always how it goes, because oftentimes when we're learning these chords, especially when we're first learning them, we play first one finger, then the next, then the next. We're going to put on 3, 2, 1. Or the opposite, 3, 2. And chances are you have a preference on this. So if you just play this chord, then you'll notice you're doing one or the other. You're playing them down in stages. And that's perfectly fine. Another thing that you can do to make yourself learn this faster and to really ingrain this into your hands is to change up the order with which you're doing that. So if you normally go 1, 2, 3, then you can also go 3, 2, 1 and make yourself put the chord down 3, 2, 1, 3, 2, 1, or 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1. And so then that way you're changing the order in your head. You're just kind of throwing a wrench into the works just a little bit, and you'll learn it much faster doing that. Same as when you're going from the C to the G, C to the D. You can do the exact same process. Notice where each finger's going, and then put those fingers on in different orders. The other thing that you can do is throughout your day, if you're first learning this chord and you want to memorize it, which you should, because it happens so much in guitar music of all types, classical guitar, rock, folk, polka, anything you play is going to have C chords in it. What you can do is you can go onto your arm just during the day and just play it like this. You can play it anywhere, but it's just nice because that models the guitar fretboard. So you can put it on there and just play the shape on your arm and then practice changing it from a G chord to a C chord or whatever it happens to be that you're doing. So these are some tips with the C chord. Go forth and play many C chords. Hope you've enjoyed this. Please do subscribe to this channel, and we'll see you soon. Bye-bye.